Welcome back to the garage where we're continuing Project Multiprobla, the 2010 Ducati Multistrada 1200 that is in need of a lot of maintenance. In this video, we're going to be putting in brand new timing belts in the L-twin engine. So let's go over to the bench and see the new belts. Here are the old belts that I can only assume has been in there for the full 15,000 miles and at least 5 years. They don't look terrible. And these new ones are from CA Cycle Works. You buy the pair for about something like $110, which is about half what Ducati would want. And they're just as high quality, if not the exact same belt. They're certainly the same dimensions. I've used these on my 996 before and never had any problems. They're great belts. So when you're removing the belts, and if you don't know how to remove the belts, go back to my episode 3 where I do the valve adjustment and take the old belts off. It's pretty straightforward. But before you take the belts off, you want to be sure that you mark some reference points on the belt for each cog that it meets. So these are the two camshafts, and this is the crankshaft, and this is the vertical belt, and this is the horizontal belt. I did the same there. 2 camshaft sprocket markings and 1 crankshaft. This is because you want to be able to align the exact cog with the correct cog in the sprocket. So you ensure that you have the correct timing on your camshaft and crankshaft sprockets. So anyway, we want to transfer these marks over to the new belts. That is both the belts marked out. Let's go back over to the engine. Okay, so first of all, you want to make sure your crankshaft is lined up with the marker in the casing right there. That tells you that the top dead center, the horizontal cylinder is at the top of its stroke. Then you want to fit the vertical belts first. And I find it's always easier to fit the belts when you remove the adjustable tensioner pulley. Then you slip your belt over the crankshaft pulley and you've made a mark on the belt and mark on the pulley. Feed this up through here first. And then you line up your marks on your camshaft pulley. The other one, the intake cam, is under tension. We have to rotate it back to its proper position. Just use some pliers like this, kind of grab it. Crank is still lined up. Now we put our tensioner back on. And then I ordered some new lock nuts, also from CA Cycle Works. You can probably pick these up at the hardware store, but it's just easy to order it all at the same time as I was doing the belts. So I put this on there. I mean, you probably don't need to replace these, but you might as well. They're cheap. Now we don't set the belt tension quite yet. Okay, now it's time to do the horizontal cylinder. Now next, pre-tension each adjuster a little bit so that there's obvious tension on there, and then snug the adjuster down. Okay, so to adjust the belt tension, you first want to bring the cylinder you're doing the adjustment on to its top dead center. So we know this one is at the top of its compression stroke. It's a top dead center because this one is the one with the alignment mark here, and these pulleys aren't under tension. This is the position we want to adjust the tension in. Okay, so to measure tension, you need to get like a Hertz meter app on your phone. So I picked up this one on Google Play called Frequency Measurement Tool by Johnny M. It's not in English. I'm not really sure what language it's in. Just hit start and it tells you the frequency. So let's give it a shot here. So 109. 108. So I'm consistently getting between 107 to 109. Again, the spec is 110 plus or minus 5, so I think we're well within spec here on this one. It feels, in fact, tighter than the belt I took off, so we're good there. All right, let's move on to the vertical cylinder. So again, in order to take the measurement on the vertical belt, we do have to rotate the engine. Really what we're looking for is the 2 dots on the cams to align with the cylinder head. Alrighty, so now we can check the tension here. It's kind of hard to get into place here. So that registered at 129, so I'm going to back that one off. So I'm getting between 74 and 73, so it is definitely too loose. Let's tighten it up a little bit. $114, $115. So I think that's actually where we want it to be. We'll tighten that down and see if it's changed. So 114, 115, looks like that is our reading on that, which is within spec, so we'll call that good. Now it's time to refit the timing belt covers, which is always fun, finagling it through there and getting the bolts into spot, but let's get to it. So now I'm going to put new spark plugs in. So these are the old ones, and they look pretty well past their prime. I don't know if they're original or not, but got brand new ones here. NGK MAR9A-Js. So be sure to just Google that number instead of just going to your Ducati dealer, because the Ducati dealers are about $40 a piece. Online, you can find them for about $17 a piece. So definitely a huge savings there. We'll get these things into the engine. So it's a long way down inside of that chamber to get these plugs in there, so I've got this little tool to help me place it. Alright, so that wraps up this video. That's the timing belts in, the covers on, and new spark plugs installed. This bike is coming around. In the next video, we're going to be pulling out the forks and putting in new seals so we can stop that massive leak going all over the front brakes. So, until then, we'll see you guys again next time.